Good morning, hope you're doing well. This is the COT data video for the week beginning the 15th of July. Christian's done this for a day early for us, so that's really good. Normally does it on Sunday, but Saturday is also good as well, and it frees up the Sunday too. So the euro looks like we might be doing something a little bit naughty. We carved a double bottom on the COT data. Remember, this is the net non-coms, so this is the banks and institutions, and it's possible we might get the euro slash USD buy at the crossover. So that could be like a big deal. All right. So obviously that was when we hit below parity back here, and it was all looking like doom and gloom for the euro, and we really pumped since. So we may have a similar scenario where we might have a pump, and we're going to have a dollar dump potentially. And it was a big week last week with rate hike cut expectations, and going forward, it might be that we're going to see a little bit of softness in the USD. So this will be interesting, be worth monitoring. We could have a strong Euro USD currency pair. Okay, so we have to remember the sentiment too as well. Keep an eye on your retail sentiment. You can look at the MyTextbook website, or subscribe to the QuasiDB service, or just use any of the various sentimental websites. But keep an eye on the retail sentiment, because near term, that's very accurate, and this is more medium to long term. Okay, so that's the Euro FX. We'll put on the yen. The yen had a big week, and this won't reflect that intervention that we had at the closing stages of the week. So this won't reflect what actually happened. We saw a big move on the yen, and they actually had to step in. So what will happen this time next week? It might be next Sunday. But this will probably perk up a little bit, and it will send the right message that BOJ is doing the right thing by actually intervening, because they had to do something, because it was just basically crumbling the currency, and it wasn't very good for anyone in Japan, and it's also good for confidence as well. That actually the central bank is in control, and it looked like they were losing control of their currency, so it was almost like a run their currency. So this will probably perk up. It's also worth noting that we made an N as well. M's are normally bullish. I know you can't really apply technical analysis to the COT data, but we did make an N, and W's are bearish normally, but I can't see any W's really. There's one here, but yeah, it's kind of difficult. Yes, I mean, we made like a W here. I suppose you could argue. Down we came. So maybe this could be bullish. I've got to remember to turn my Discord off. I get a lot of messages, as you saw, so let's quit that. It's fine, I don't mind. If you've got any questions about anything, let me know. That was a question about the heat map from Quantal. So that's like something that you could get into, is the Quantal. I made a series of videos about that. So that's how we stand. So I think this is possibly going to perk up. Well, it should perk up, because we had the intervention, didn't we? Euro off, Aussie on. Aussie's really pumped. Wow, we're in positive territory now. Wow, that happened a lot quicker than I thought. We were minus 64,000. We've really surged, and so that's actually really interesting. So that's going to be bullish for the Aussie from a net non-com perspective. Remember what I said about the retail sentiment as well. So that is really interesting. We may have the Aussie USD buy at the crossover. So you'd want to be looking for longs on Aussie USD. That's a big deal. So that is really interesting. So Aussie off, pound on. Pound's been surging. You would have seen the forecasts and the analysis in Telegram about the pound. Yeah, and also we covered gold as well. We cover all currencies in the Discord, but we only share select stuff in Telegram, because ideally you join us in Discord, and then you get like more of the flavour what we're producing. So we had the big heads up about the pound and gold and things like that. So there's the GBP. And we've got a new Prime Minister in charge, so it could be good for the pound. They heard we're very bearish going into the elections, and they've been really punished. We could be due a little retracement. because we've really gone for it. Probably lots of stops at 1.3 because we're 1.295-ish. So there'll be a ton of stops at 1.3, you'd imagine. Okay, so that's of note. CAD on. CAD perked up, but not as strong as Aussie, obviously. So minus 120 to minus 111. So it's still got some way to go, and this is going to be dependent on oil and things like that. CAD off, gold on, and away we go. 241, 254. Okay. And so someone asked me about gold and Telegram, and the retail sentiment that they're bearish and they're adding to their short positions, and the non-com data is bullish. All right, so I mean, by all means, you can ask me what I think about gold, but just look at the retail sentiment, look at the COT data, and that tells you what you need to know. Technically, we're really strong as well. Gold off, and we're coming to the end of the video. New Zealand dollar. We had the RBNZ this week, and so obviously we're seeing a big divergence on Kiwi versus Aussie, for example, and this is a really good one to use. So this is what's cool about this data, this Excel sheet. You know, we can start to see sort of deviations on the positioning. So let's maybe take off yen for a second, and then dollar. And so we're going to probably have an exchange, a crossover, and that's going to be bullish Aussie Kiwi. All right, so that's really of note. And the HUD are incredibly skewed already on that currency pair. Last I looked, it was 95%, and they were really caught short. And so they're probably going to get punished, and this is going to possibly pump to, you know, play havoc with those retail traders. New Zealand dollar on, we'll put on the dollar back, and then we can look at the Swiss franc. We'll take off Aussie, all right, and then take off Kiwi, and click OK, and that's the New Zealand dollar, the Swiss franc in a little bit of free fall, and it is what it is. We didn't get the crossover, and it's interesting they've almost like gone. Sort of almost like did a mirror image. You see, it's quite interesting, isn't it? Yeah. So be a little bit careful, dollar Swiss. That the FXCM clients are they're very long on that particular currency pair, and because they're so long, we probably could fall. However, we are quite bearish on the Swiss franc, and not too bad on the dollar. But it looks like the dollar is going to be under some pressure this week because of its peers, and they're really surging. So that's this week's COT data video, and I'll get back to that question about the heat map. But if you've got any questions at all, you can let me know anytime. I won't mind, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can, and have a great weekend.